In this video, I'll be discussing some basics about soldering through-hole components to circuit boards. I'll be assuming that you've already watched my previous videos from my Soldering Basics series. If you have not watched my videos on using solder and using flux, I recommend that you do watch those since I'll be applying information from those videos in this one. I have a circuit board here where I've removed some of the components so that I can demonstrate how to solder through-hole components to a circuit board. You'll want to place the shortest components on the board first. It's easier to put these in place before taller components because the taller ones can get in the way. Bend the leads of the components so that they are spaced to line up with the corresponding holes. On the back side of the board, bend the leads apart so that they will hold the component in place. Typically, resistors will lay flat on the board, but depending on how the board is designed, they may stand up on their end. If you need to bend them down, do that before adding the solder. I'm doing the same with this transistor. Bending the leads so that they can go through the holes. Then on the back side of the board, I bend them apart to hold the component in place. And with the capacitor, I do the same. Now that the components are positioned, turn the board over and solder them into place. This is where the information from my previous soldering videos come into play. When adding the solder, watch the solder to see if it's flowing, and also look at the shape it's making. You want it to look like it's clinging to the wire and the solder pad while not making a blob or clump of solder. If it is clumping up, adding some flux should help. Sometimes you'll have a part with short leads that you cannot bend to hold into place. For these, you'll need to hold them with something else. For this part, I'm holding it from underneath with my finger. Since I only have one hand available to add the solder, I put a little bit of solder on the iron off camera, then I add that to one of the leads on the part. It's just a little bit of solder, but it's enough to temporarily hold the part in place. When adding more solder to this part, add the solder to the other leads before adding more to the first lead. If you try adding solder to that first lead before securing another lead, the part may fall out. There is more to soldering, but this is good to start practicing. I'm working on a few more videos with more soldering basics, so keep an eye out for those. And if there are any tips that you would like to share, please leave a comment and let us know. Thank you for watching.